Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. Today we will continue our discussion on supervised learning setup. In the previous lecture, we gave you a quick overview of supervised learning. We talked about formulation of training data set. How do we formulate the data along with its labeled in the set notation. We also talked about hypothesis class and loss function. Today we will talk about train test split. Although I have briefly reviewed it in the lecture, but I want to review it again. In machine learning, in the supervised learning, we formulated the following optimization problem to determine the best hypothesis function from the hypothesis class. So we note that this minimization is being carried out on the training data. And we recall here that this data is coming from the distribution that is not known to us. So we do not know about the distribution. If we know the distribution, then there is no point of learning, right? So we do not know this distribution. And when we minimize this, we get hypothesis that minimizes loss. So this minimization problem gives us low loss on the training data. And we ask a very, very fundamental question here. How can we ensure that hypothesis H that minimizes loss on the training data also gives you loss on the data that is not in D, on some input that's not in D? And the answer to this question is yes or no. Sorry. Yes, when the data is a very good representative of the distribution or the population. And the answer is no. And we expect the loss to be high when the data is not capturing the variations in the data. And to illustrate this, let us consider an example. So we consider an example in which we take hypothesis function that is trained on every input in your dataset D. Right? So this hypothesis function gives you zero loss on every input which is part of D. If you give input to this hypothesis function, you get exactly the same label. So this hypothesis function is kind of a lookup table. Right? So you have all the inputs and you have all the labels. Right? And if you give any input which is not part of D, it gives you zero output. Right? So the loss is maximum for any input that's not in D, and the loss is zero for any input that is part of D. Right? So this is the interpretation of this memorizer function. So it gives 0% loss error on the training data, and it gives large error for some input which is not in D. So we can say that this memorizer is super fit on the training data. And probably this is the first glimpse of the concept of overfitting. And we will review this concept in great detail as we progress in the course. Okay, if we revisit our question that how can we ensure that hypothesis H will give low loss on the input that is not in D. And to answer this question in machine learning paradigm, we use the concept of train test split. Okay, let's talk about what do we mean by train test split. If hypothesis function is giving low on the testing data, then we can say that the model is expected to give low loss on the test data point from the distribution, because the testing data is new to the model and it has not been seen during the learning phase. So the idea is, so to resolve the issue of overfitting, we split the data D into two subsets. What we call the one subset as the training data, and the other subset is referred to as test data. Different percentages are used to split data. You can either split using in a ratio of 70-30 or 80-20 or 90-10. Each one has different pros and cons. Obviously, when you choose 70%, you are having more testing data as compared to 90% when you have less testing data. So graphically, we can say that we have a data and we carry out this train test split. We get a training data and we have a test data. So the question here is, how should we carry out this splitting? In generally, for time series, we carry out splitting with respect to time. And if we have a data which is not varying with time, which does not have temporal variations, the split should be capturing with the variations in the distribution. And that split should be identically and independently distributed, IID. So once we have the split, we can only use the test data set once after deciding on the model using the training data set. So we train the model on the training data set, and to evaluate the performance of model, we use test data set. So if we revisit our optimization problem, taking into account this train test split, so we reformulate our original optimization problem into this generalized form, right? Instead of minimizing the loss function over the training data set and over the hypothesis class, we minimize the loss function over this training data set. So this summation is over the training data set, and we divide by this cardinality of training data set to normalize it. And we also minimize over the hypothesis class. Right? And this minimization gives us 8 star. And once we have this best hypothesis function, we evaluate the performance of this hypothesis function by evaluating this loss, the loss on the testing data set. So loss function given a point in the testing data set given 8 star. So for the best hypothesis function, we have this loss on the testing data. Okay. We can also relate this loss on testing data to the loss over the distribution, or to the loss by the hypothesis function over the distribution. Let's make this relationship. Let's relate this testing loss to the loss over the distribution. Let's first define the generalization loss, or the loss over the distribution. And that can be simply given by taking expectation of the loss function over the distribution, given the best H. So under the assumption that this data is independent and identically distributed, and that is drawn from the P, the testing loss can serve as unbiased estimator. So this unbiasedness is due to the assumption that the data is IID drawn from the distribution. And as the number of data points, the size of the testing data increases to infinity, this testing loss becomes equal to the generalized loss. This is just a consequence of a weak law of large numbers, which says that empirical average of the data drawn from a distribution converges to its mean. And let us also review further splitting of the data. So at times, we split our data D into 3 subsets. That is the training data, validation data, and test data. So that is, we further divide training data into 2 parts, training and validation. Right? And why do we do this? Let me explain this. When we are searching over the hypothesis class, we have decision trees, we have neural networks, we have, say, polynomial regressor or SVM, etc. And we have this large hypothesis class. For example, from this hypothesis class, we use polynomial regressor to fit our data. The question here is, what should be the order of the polynomial? What should be the order of the model? So what is the order of a model? So the order of a model is hyperparameter of the model. So I think I have explained this earlier, but let me explain this again. So the order of the model is called hyperparameter of the model because that is going to define the structure of your model. That is going to define the number of coefficients you wish to estimate from the data, right? And the number of coefficients, so they are called parameters of the model, but the number of parameters, that is the order of a model, is hyperparameter. So to answer the question that what should be the order of the model, we use this concept of, or we use this validation data to answer this question. So the idea here is very, very simple. So validation data is used to evaluate the loss for a function h that is determined using the learning on the training data set. If the loss on validation data is high for a given h or for a given model of h, the hypothesis or model needs to be changed. Until unless you have the desirable loss on the validation data. To explain this further, let us review these definitions. So training set, a set of data points, a set of examples which we use for learning. That is to fit the parameters of your hypothesis model. Whereas the validation data set is used to tune the hyperparameters of the hypothesis function. For example, the order of a polynomial approximating the data. And finally, we use test data to assess or to evaluate the performance of our model, or to determine the loss, that is an estimate of the generalized loss of our model. So a very quick visualization of this validation split. So we have this data, we divide into train and test. We further divide training data into validation data and training data. And usually the method is called the cross validation. That you divide your training data into 5 parts. You keep one part as validation and the remaining 4 parts as training data. And in such a way you have 5 sets because we're using 5-fold cross validation. And we will talk about this as we progress in the course. This was a quick overview of supervised learning setup. From next module, we will start looking at the algorithms. We will start with k nearest neighbor algorithm. Thank you for your time. अपना ख्याल रखें. See you inshallah. Allah Hafiz.